Hey friends, here's Eric, the mind control guy. I was thinking with this latest Hurricane Helena, that's tearing up the Appalachians over there in the Carolinas and Tennessee, and everybody's got their thoughts about it. And because up there in North Carolina, the Appalachians, is very, very rich as far as having quartz and lithium and stuff. And well, one way to get folks out of the area is to create what appears to be a natural disaster. And that's what HAARP does, High Altitude Aurora Research Project. And some folks may say it stands for different things. Who knows? But anyway, I got to thinking about this. And in the times we're living in, and the diabolical individuals who, I guess you might call them, the shot callers. They got all these other folks out here doing all the dirty work, and they're calling the shots. And everybody just doing whatever they say, yazza boss, that kind of thing. I got to thinking, those kind of individuals, on one hand, they might be very, very smart. On the other hand, they ain't too damn bright. I got to thinking, if this hurricane, which I believe it is, and the other ones, if they were generated by HAARP, the thing they got up in Alaska, I got to thinking, if this is really their last ditch effort, there's so many agendas. For one, they want to wipe out, so much of humanity and get us down to below 1/2 billion, and some might even say, less than a 500,000, and start over. Well, there's all this talk about nuclear war. They start launching nukes, it's over. That's one way to turn the planet into a wasteland. There's other ways to turn the planet into a wasteland. Like if they set off Yellowstone, the supervolcano in Wyoming. Good portion of the country and Canada, parts of it, will be a wasteland. And I'm thinking, well, they want to get rid of a whole bunch of the population, majority of the planet. They call them useless eaters. I'm thinking, for decades, Hollywood has turned out quite a number of disaster movies. Earthquake, Twister, Night of the Twisters, which years ago happened in Grand Island, Nebraska. Whole bunch of huge tornadoes came out in the middle of the night. A lot of disaster movies. 10.5 Apocalypse, the sequel. A lot of disaster movies. Well, I got to thinking, these individuals that run HAARP, to give the orders to control HAARP, what if they decided to do something so despicable and so disastrous that instead of just talking about it or theorizing it, they actually did it? Because they know that HAARP can create hurricanes, create tornadoes, all kinds of natural disasters. They say even earthquakes. Years ago, there was a couple movies came out. The one, I believe it came out, I can't remember, it was either 2002 or 2004. I think it might have been 2004. It's called The Day After Tomorrow. Well, if they have a device like HAARP that can do what it does, change the weather, create all kinds of catastrophic things, what if those that control HAARP created a series of events that basically made the day after tomorrow become a reality. No longer Hollywood, but a reality. Same thing with the movie that came out in 2009 called 2012. What if they used HAARP and really screwed up and did all the wrong things to make the events portrayed in the movie 2012 become a reality? All kinds of just horrific events, tornadoes, just blow Yellowstone, which was portrayed in the movie. Of course, they didn't show those running HAARP blow Yellowstone, but what if they were to do something like this? Create all kinds of, say, catastrophic earthquakes over here, hurricanes on all sides of the North American continent, even Mexico, South America, Central America, Europe, all over. Say every place on this planet. Say they just created, 300 hurricanes, category 5. Maybe step it up and go category 6, category 7. All over the planet. And then on the mainland, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tornadoes. F5. Maybe even step it up. F6, F7. We've never seen an F7, but we have seen an F6. What if they actually did that? What if they used this HAARP device, which they've weaponized the weather? We know that. What if they used this device and things got completely out of hand and they created a whole bunch of earthquakes? They blow Yellowstone, blow the Pacific North Rim, volcanoes all over, Hawaii, Mount Fuji, all over the world. What if they did start blowing all these volcanoes? Hundreds of hurricanes, hundreds and hundreds or thousands of tornadoes, countless just vicious lightning strikes. What if they got too big for their britches and couldn't shut it off and did that? And there's nothing saying that what I'm saying can't happen. I would hope that cooler heads in charge of such a device would prevail and not allow it to happen. But psychopaths don't care. If we end up in another big war, we start getting missiles and rockets and nukes lobbed into this country, United States. Maybe somebody just needs to lob one and take out HAARP. How about that? Take out HAARP. But with all this crazy stuff going on now, and all the talk about nuclear war, and all these disasters going on, and HAARP genning up, Hurricane Helene that just devastated the Appalachians, and there's one, or I've heard even maybe 2 more right behind it. Strategically put in certain areas, completely obliterating areas. What's to say that the wrong fingers aren't going to just overdo it with HAARP? Dozens, hundreds of hurricanes all over the world. Hundreds, thousands of tornadoes all over the place. Place that maybe never even seen tornadoes, but boom! F5s, ramp them up to F6, S7s. Just hurricanes like have never been seen before. Earthquakes, big ones, that makes the scenes like in the movie 2012 become a reality. I remember hearing since I was a kid, back in the 70s, they talk about the big one hitting California. What happens if they use this device, HAARP, and they actually make it happen? Or they have their monstrous nuclear devices, they put them down inside the San Andreas Fault, a few dozen of them, and blow California off, causing such catastrophe, catastrophic events. Something like that, you talk about a huge wave, could bowl right over Hawaii, make Hawaii just a memory, bulldoze over Japan. God knows what it would do. But a lot of times people get in control of these kinds of devices that can do extremely destructive things. I wouldn't put it past them. The way we're going, I wouldn't put it past these individuals to do that kind of despicable stuff. Kind of like in the pseudo-documentary Alternative 3, get the hell off this planet while there's still time. Well, the elites are probably going to do that. And all their underground cities, their underground bases could very well get devastated and bury them in it. Wouldn't bother me any. But what's to say that if they do so many of these just horrific things with HAARP, maybe they get real stupid and launching nukes, setting off all the volcanoes, and the planet's shell is very, very fragile. You know, it's like you put some kind of explosive device or you hit something at the right place, cause a series of events. A small crack ends up being a big crack, and the whole thing comes down. I've said it many times, and I don't care if people laugh at me or not. Things I remember when I was in the various projects when I was in the service, and all those mind control projects, and all the crazy crap that happened later. We already have one asteroid belt in this solar system. We already have one. I think these sons of bitches are not going to stop doing their destructive, chaotic crap until the planet that we all live on ends up becoming our solar system's second asteroid belt, or ends up making this planet that we all live on a vast wasteland and nothing will be able to live on it. Call me crazy? I don't care. Some people will get out here and say, oh, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'll tell you straight up, I am a conspiracy theorist. You know why? Because I've already lived it. I lived it. And so many of these things that have happened over the decades and centuries, and then they find out the conspiracy theorist was right all along. And any of you trolls want to come here and start running your stupid ass mouth, your ass is getting kicked to the curb immediately. I don't tolerate trolls because trolls are morons. Anyway, I had to get this off my chest. With all this stuff going on, I'm just kind of wondering if they're going to overuse HAARP and basically make the North American continent, and for that matter, other continents, civilization as we know it, a thing of the past. Is anybody going to survive if they overdo it with HAARP and their nukes? Thanks for putting up with me. Take care. Eric the Mind Control Guy, signing off.